talk about anything. Join my Discord for links and
Her
stream chat.
actions against the new owner of the gameplays,
https
Michael Snyder, on October 28th, 2011. Their case was granted a continuance by the judge until April 16th. On January 11th, Chris made his Facebook account public and made a post about communicating with his real-life friends. At the time, he was connected with 5 people, which included his longtime real-life gal pal, Anna McLaren, and the troll, Kim Wilson. After this, he began using Facebook very frequently, writing out his thoughts and sharing them with his supposed friends and onlookers. On the 19th, he made several posts expressing his loneliness and his regretful naivety during high school, which prevented him from acquiring a girlfriend. He feared that his lack of a partner would cause a premature death. After posting on Facebook on a near-daily basis, talking about his lack of friends and his autism tutorial on Little Big Planet 2, on January 26th, he made a string of posts about Michael Snyder. I just am really pissed off with that Snyder advertising the place. Not of Seaville, as misrepresented in the place's renaming, during this court crap Mom and I are having versus that b****. And in 2 pages of this year's NBC 29 Check Us Out mailing. It is so offensive to me. He may as well be going out against his own restraining order by standing on my own doorstep with a video player, showing his cheap TV ad, waving a blow-up copy of his 10% off coupon like the US flag, and chucking a mud pie in my face. The place is nothing but a meeting place and breeding ground for the perverted trolls and cyberbullies that have been torturing me the past greater than 4 freaking years. I want to see that place burned to the ground. Anna then interjected, commenting that it may look bad for him if someone found his words and brought them up in court. On January 30th, he updated his profile photo, asking if he still looked attractive. Kim told him that he looked like her supposedly favorite actor, Jeff Daniels, and shared a still of him from the 1994 comedy Dumb and Dumber. Chris replied, stating that he had an ugly mug and that the photo did not make him feel better about himself. Kim then offered him some advice. Chris, please don't be so negative. When you're negative like that, especially to people you don't even know, it radiates to those around you. It makes you seem unfriendly and unapproachable, whether you intend for it or not. If you're happy, friendly, and have an open mind, people can tell. It's like a type of sixth sense, and are more likely to approach you. Close parentheses. The next day, he told his Facebook friends to download his photo onto their phones, or preferably print it out and show it to women, asking if he looked cute or not. And if they ask, tell them I am single, and if they ask how am I still single,
am I
do not
kawaii,
hesitate to
Ugu?
inform them. He is very shy and high-functioning autistic.
Oh, is my mic on?
Tell
Oh, that
them
must have
not
been
to
annoying,
Google my
sorry.
name, or just leave my name out of the conversation. Kim seemed to be the only person to allegedly do this by showing his photo to her girlfriends, and informed him that they recognized him from the mall, and suggested that he would have more luck if he approached women instead, though Chris thought himself too shy to ever attempt that.
See, my eternal paranoia is that I'm really frighteningly close to Chris Chan.
Chris accuses him of being Alec Benson Leary.
Fat man here again, and I just want to say that Christian Weston Chandler, or CWTC, or whatever his dumbass name is a dumbass, folks. And he's a dumbass because he thinks
I am the glub go gob galub, the schwubble double gibble gobble gibble guab guab.
I don't think you comprehend how deranged Chris Chan was.
Like, a lot of it wasn't his fault. His dad was... he's just so fascinating. That's why, like, I think people come back to him, because it's not just like, oh, he's a dick, and that's it. It's like, he's a victim as much as he's a victimizer. And it's like... yeah, it's hard to get into, because it's like, he's not a good person, but you, like, keep following it, hoping to find that shred of, like, maybe niceness or something.
He interpreted it as needing to return to the fashion square to resume his sweetheart search quietly.
Sweetheart search. That's what I'm on. I'm on a sweetheart search.
Coupon from the game place, which he had altered to say that it was a breeding ground for trolls and cyberbullies to discourage customers from coming there. He would place the warning cards at various places as he went. He then wrote up an account of an encounter.
That's defamation, bro. You're gonna get sued, bro.
Once around the mall before settling down to hang, but I impulsively decided to leave a few photos as I walked.
Not even haha.
Eventually,
OMG, people treat him like a clown or entertainment.
Kiosk. I called my mother to check in. While ringing, a jerk-op wandered into my space. I saw one to a handful of my warning photos in his right hand. I felt shocked with surprise. Mom answered. I played it cool with her, while I started to get up and walk away. We finished the chat, she hung up, I hung up as I walked. Then I looked back. The jerk-cop following me said something. I started running into the
jerk-cop.
I hid in the back for a moment to catch myself. I thought it best to leave and return another day. Set to exit via the one with the salon, he and an accomplice intercepted me. You're not in any trouble, the jerk-cop said. The hell I was not, or why would the son of a bitch be chasing after me?
He literally tells him he's not in trouble, and Chris Chan is like, not today, sucker!
Eastward to the Mitsu I was driving, far east from the East Belk entrance. I started along the outer edge of the parking lot. I was spotted by the accomplice, but I was too fast for him, and I was tactful hiding and weaving around the parked cars to get to mine. I see the act catching up as I was close to my car. Those dumbasses probably thought to
they probably were just gonna tell him, hey man, like, we don't want to make a problem. What you're doing is gonna ruffle feathers, so, you know, don't be posting those things, because they're gonna upset people. But instead his reaction is like, the jerk cops are after me!
Now I rest at an McD with an Arnold Palmer tea and apple slices, rehydrating myself and resting while typing my story up. My mother does not need to know of what happened. 4 days later,
I just turned up
Jacqueline
the
Lonely
volume a bit.
created a new
I
Facebook
think it
account
should be
to
okay
Chris's
like
delight.
this.
He then posted a photo of himself and Jackie lying in bed, represented by Lego pieces, happy that they would rekindle their relationship and
Lego
reestablish
pieces.
contact.
Oh man, I hope Good Guy
After
Made
having
is
some
here.
conversations about what women like, he began working on a new dating education comic. And
That is
shared
the
with
best
her
thing
a
ever. He
preview
made this
photo
like
of a new
bionicle
page,
thing that's
though
like
it was difficult
him
to
as a
decipher due to the
bionicle
low
as a
quality of
maid.
his
Oh my
computer's camera
god,
roll.
I love it.
In early February, Christian participated in an event in Toys R Us, in which he built a lemonade stand out of Legos in support of the childhood cancer charity Alex Lemonade Stand. He also learned that he could register to host his own
Bella
personal lemonade
I
stand
am now
and
here.
contribute his earnings to the charity. He
Hey,
decided that
glad
he
you
would
could
run
make
his
it.
lemonade stand in June and quickly set up a page on the charity's website under the name Quickville Helps. He wrote that he would do it in honor of his father, who he claimed died of cancer. Chris set his goal to $50, which was quickly raised.
His dad didn't
through
die of
online
cancer, he
donations
died
from
of bug
trolls.
bites.
On February 13th, he
Like,
was
his
caught showing the
dad
middle finger to a law
went to the
enforcement
hospital
officer by his mother,
with
which upset
bug
her,
bites
and in turn
all over his
upset him
body,
as
so he
well.
probably, like, he may
On
have had the
February
friggin'
18th,
plague for
Chris
all we
asked
know.
anyone on Facebook for the current whereabouts of his former friend, Megan Schroeder, because he believed that she was the seed of the smear campaign against him on the internet. He wanted to bring her in before his attorney, politician Rob Bell, for questioning. He then posted a photo of her and her brother John. The thing with Megan is a major lot to elaborate. In short, though, I had little knowledge and understanding of details when I thought she was a victim. The trolling started before November 2007. Conversations between her and Mr. Snyder were overheard by my mother. I was, from her perspective, weird, different, my good intentions greatly misunderstood, stalker-like, etc. Put it all together. She is the seed of all of that evil.
It's like, one
Both
thing
my
I find so
parents knew.
revealing about
I was
Chris Chan
ignorant for the long
is
time up till
the
now.
way victim
2
mentality
days
kind
later,
of
he shared
works,
her last
because he's
known
like,
home
he's
address
so
on
unfiltered,
Facebook.
so he can't hide that, like,
On
nuance
February
and that
24th, the day
intrigue
of
like
Chris's
most
30th
people.
birthday, the YouTube channel, The Quickville Library, leaked over 10 previously unseen videos from Chris, which had been
Like,
originally made for
I kind of
Jackie.
love him in a
These
way,
included his
like
date
a
videos
John
with his sex
Waters sort
doll,
of thing,
a censored
because
version of
he
Cake
really
Farts,
is,
and
like,
his dance video
the
filmed
perfect
in a Walmart
American.
dressing
He
room.
really is,
Also
like,
included
this is
was a
what
more
happens
recent
if you
video
have
that he
someone
filmed at McDonald's,
grow up
focusing on his
in a
mother,
very
Barbara.
typical American family. Like, it's not
There's something
this
there.
Norman Rockwell thing people think. Like, American families, most families are weird. Not just American, but
Yes, I
most
love you.
families.
Yeah. Yeah. So we having fun today?
Yeah.
We having fun right now? Okay. You know you're very pretty. You're always pretty. You know we will get on the street and we will have no fun. What? Yeah. The shirt I picked out from Goodwill the other day. Yeah. I am pretty
Man, I can,
bird,
like,
and this bird you cannot
feel the
Bella Quinta.
disappointment
Japanese
in Barb.
families aren't weird
On
Bakugai-jan.
February 27th, he expressed his hatred for a recent YouTube video from Sega, in which the video presenters showing the prizes up for grabs in Sega's Free Stuff Friday competition passively mentioned Sonichu.
This is on its own?
Sonichu?
No.
Sonichu!
Stuff to give away, so this is actually available for purchase somewhere, and we'll track that down.
Throughout March, Chris continued to express his loneliness in the form of updates on Facebook. He
Chris,
also
bro,
revealed
you just
that
gotta
he
you gotta
and
be a
his mother wished
VTuber.
that
Then
Bob
people
were
will flock
still
to you and,
alive,
like,
but they felt his
see,
presence
you
in
don't
the
have a
house,
fluffy
and
tail.
Chris
If you
sometimes
have
spoke with him in his
a
dreams.
fluffy tail,
On
then
March 24th,
you get
Chris
the
and
big
Barbara
bucks.
traveled to Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
to
that's what
attend
you
a
guys
live
came
show
for.
version of the
That's
popular
the money
Discovery Channel
shot.
series, Mythbusters. He took several photos with his handheld console, the
Where is-
PlayStation Vita, which he had recently gotten for his birthday. He had a
There
myth-related
we go.
question prepared about camel milk
Yeah, that's
what you
characteristics
guys
and
came
for.
autism for the show's question
I
and
don't
answer
think
session,
you are allowed
but was
to show
ultimately
Fluffy
not
Tail
selected
on
to
Twitch.
contribute a query. 3
I'm a
days
rebel,
later,
man. I'm
he made a
fighting the
post about his
rules.
carnal
Twitch is
desires.
gonna play by my
I
fluffy
need some
tail
sex.
rules, okay?
I'm no different
We're
from
done.
everyone
We're
else
done
on that
with
topic.
this
I get horny.
politically
I think about it
unfluffed
often.
tail
I'm
nonsense.
dreaming of inserting my rod A into female slot V, followed by some lost genetics. Being an adult virgin sucks! Abstinence is a joke. I'm lonely. I'm tired of being ignored and overlooked in public by women. I need some sex. 4 days later, He elaborated about his concerns concerning his impending court date. My court date is coming up, and there is a risk of me either having the charges from Snyder dropped or me landing in jail, and if my destiny is jail, I will starve myself. I do not want to die a virgin either. I need help immediately.
I love the idea of Chris, like, seriously trying to convict himself to starve himself.
Optional. Anna replied with a joke about him losing his virginity in prison. Chris didn't seem to notice. These recent desperate proclamations of wanting
It's funny because, like, when I was younger, I absolutely hated Chris Chan. I could not sympathize with him at all, but as I've gotten older, it's like, bruh, like, there's aspects of him that I see in myself, and that's probably why I hate him so much, because he's like the worst version of what I could be.
Christian simply wrote on Facebook, "I am not a virgin anymore," and declined to elaborate further. On that same day, he wrote a detailed account of his experience to the person who gave him the list of prostitutes to choose from. I arrive at the predetermined destination of the intersection of 29 and 250. Therein lies over 4 hotels, including the nearby English Inn. I stay assumed with the Days Inn. I try again with Riley, and I shot for Christy. Riley did not answer at all. Kristen stated, "I'm very busy now." So, in my cell contacts, out of the ones you have provided for me from the back page, I call up the one I had assumed as a long shot because of the enclosed image of a company logo on her page, the one called Mia Hamm. Ham is not her real last name, and IMHO, it does not do her justice.
Ham is not her real name, that's a load of baloney.
I introduced myself, told her I found her on the back page. She sounded mature in her voice, down to earth. I arrive at her door and knocked 3 times. It's about 4:30 p.m. She opens and invites me in. Unexpectedly, but not surprising, I was also greeted with the smell of aged smoke. She had done the weed. I complained a little.
She had done the
A
weed.
small handful of hand sanitizer. It quelled it down for me. Mia was very nice, likable, and down to earth. And she was 24. I forgot to mention, she greeted me in a black lace negligee. She had an average figure. Her breasts were a C. She had a lip ring
Her
bobble,
breasts were...
tongue ring bobble, and
I hope
ring
she's
bobbles
talking
in
about
each of her
size,
front
not
nipples.
rating them.
We casually stripped for each other. We communicated good throughout. She was fixed, but she insisted I be protected as well. She offers me a green, apple-flavored condom. I lie on the bed naked. She was naked. She had the condom in the edge of her lips. She mouths it onto my most erect penis, and she gives me a very good BJ.
Oh god, I don't know if I should be streaming this. Holy shit. Oh man.
As she blows me, I place my hands on her shoulders. After she was
So
done,
this is
she laid beside me.
a reminder.
Her
This
pussy
is
was wet.
a very
We handled
Christian,
each
very
other.
family
Her
friendly
vaginal
channel we
opening
run
felt
here.
really good, and I found her clit. Yet she was very clear about me keeping my fingers outside. I respected her request. Then we roll into each other. We make out, no tongues, with peckings and open mouth. We touched each other. Her skin was very smooth. My 5 o'clock made my chin a bit rough. Her long, black hair was silky, smooth, and shiny. Her blue eyes smiled at me, and so did she. I gave her a sample of my strong-handed massage that my mother enjoyed in the past. Mia really liked that. Then, I felt and informed her that I was ready to go in. I requested cowgirl, with possible missionary later, but that did not happen. Her pelvic thrusts were amazing. Her pussy was tight, even after pushing 2 daughters out of there years ago.
That is the most disturbing thing out of all the stuff I've heard Chris Chan say. Hearing him like say the pussy was tight is
I
just
felt her front pelvic bone,
that's so
which really
unsettling.
made the top of the game. She came and I came, but on my coming, it was only half felt, and the semen that was mostly outside, but a smidge on the outside.
Oh
of the
my
condom
goodness, this
confirmed
is
it.
incredible.
Then I washed my dick with a washcloth I brought with me, and dried it off with a towel I also brought. I was really satisfied. Then we conversed the rest of the $150 hour. It was very pleasant. She is a mother of 2. They're staying with her mama. Papa Bear dished Mia. It is very sad. She goes from town to town, and she is getting education for a better future along the way. Her individual escort service is a quick spot of cash for her. God bless her and her family. I also told her a bit of myself here and there, including the troll/cyberbullies. Mia is also half Cherokee, so that was an unexpected good bonus. I told her a few funny bits, informed her of what I knew of the weed from Family Guy and that one episode of South Park, medicinal fried chicken.
I like
We
how he
had a
calls
few
it
good
the
laughs.
weed.
Then her clock chimes, alerting her that her next appointment was arriving, so we hugged another time, and I got out of her hair. I promised I would call her later. I did, about 6:30. She had already finished with the next fellow. He was a disappointment to her. His was smaller than mine, a wiener in a hallway situation. She really enjoyed my
Oh
date
yeah, the
and my
last guy I
personality.
had was,
I
oh, he
pray
was
the
so
best
much
blessings
smaller
for
than you,
her and her
Chris.
daughters.
Like, you wouldn't
Plus,
believe it.
I may well likely see her
Honestly,
again
you're
in
the
another
best I
month
ever
when
had,
she's in
Chris.
town, and if I'm not in jail. The whole thing felt natural
Like,
to me the further it
can you
went.
say
I
pro
was also
gamer move?
surprised that I did not have premature ejaculation. It was awesome, pleasant, and so good. Worth it. Only you, until my girlfriend comes around, knows the story.
In ways, it's
But as
kind of
for everyone
comforting
else,
because it's
all
like,
they will ever
dude,
get to read from
if
me
Chris
is,
Chan
I
can
am not
lose
a
his V
virgin
card, that
anymore.
just shows how insignificant it is. Look at how, like,
4
much
days
he
later,
improved,
shared
how
some details of
significant.
his experience in a private post on Facebook.
Complimenting your
Mentioned her
client sounds
Cherokee
like a
heritage
typical
and that she
escort thing
enjoyed
to
his
do.
penis. Chris added that he had given her a gift basket as a token of his
Exactly,
gratitude.
yeah, so Chris is
He
saying
explained
this
in
like
a
he
later
thinks it's a
email to an
compliment, but
online
it's
gal
like,
pal
no
that
man,
the
like,
gift
you just
basket
don't
contained
understand
3
how people
apples,
work.
a
Like,
lavender air freshener, breath
it's like I
mints,
simultaneously
a 4
feel bad
gigabyte
for him,
flash
but I
drive
also
containing
want
the
to, like,
setlist originally played during
slap him
Bob's
and be
guest
like,
appearance on
motherfucker, you
WTJU
are
radio
one
in
stupid
1990,
motherfucker.
and a Hello Kitty Pest dispenser. He revealed that he had told his mother that he and Mia met at Walmart, had a pleasant conversation, and then exchanged phone numbers. On April 9th, Chris and his mother went to visit some of Barbara's relatives in Red Oak, Virginia. She planted fresh flowers at her father's and her sister Karina's graves, and enjoyed some time away from their stressful situation back in Ruckersville. The church next to the gravesite displayed a mannequin of Jesus Christ, of which Chris took a picture. 4 days later, he posted some pictures of his weight loss journey, claiming that he weighed 223 pounds
Hey, that's
and
not
continued to lose
Jesus.
weight.
I'm
The
right
next day,
here.
he met up with Mia Hamm again and recounted his
That'd be
encounter
funny
via
if,
email
like,
to a gal pal, portrayed
oh,
by
what's
the
that? There's
trolling
like in that
counterpart
manga in
of Kim
Japan
Wilson.
where like Jesus and
I have
Buddha
also
hang
hung
out.
out
If
with
Jesus
Mia
did come
again
back
today,
and became a total
treated her to a
weeb.
pleasant and good lunch and another good amount of conversation. We got to know each other a little better. Then, after returning her to her hotel room, I gave her another little donation towards her funding and gave her the missionary. I am naturally really good, a lot better than had thought before.
I gave her the
Found a
missionary
state
after
who
she
really
smoked
missed
the
out on
weed
having this bad
and
boy
sucked the
that has felt
penis.
tightness within a pussy that gave birth to 2 girls beforehand. I'd say that Holly would be loosing all of the doors off their hinges with my penetration, relatively speaking, referencing the Robot Chicken sketch with the woman tossing a wiener down a hallway in front of her boyfriend. Look it up on YouTube.
Well, I
On
guess
April
we're gonna have to look
16th,
it up.
Chris and Barbara appeared in court before a grand jury. They were indicted on their felony charges, and their arraignment was scheduled for July 10th. Afterwards, he posted a tweet on the social media site Twitter, wherein he complained about his lengthy court appearance and wished that Michael Snyder die from stress because he needed to sleep. At around this time, Christian began visiting the Quickie forums, an offshoot of the Quickie which focused on user discussions about him and the things he did. He registered under an assumed name, and in the comments he made, he tried to portray himself as a remorseful troll and would defend Chris's actions. His unique writing style made it obvious to other forum members that it was actually Chris in disguise. His posts on the forum are thought to be lost. On April 25th, he revealed his supposed plans to go to Charlottesville's Fashion Square on the 28th to resume his sweetheart search in earnest over Facebook, hinting that he expected trolls to show up as well. On that day, he posted on Facebook again, victoriously announcing that he outsmarted the trolls because he had no intention of going to the mall, for he had been banned from entering the Fashion Square. I had no intention, purpose, or ability to go to Fashion Square at all on today, the 28th. Do you want to know why? Oh, you are all so impressionable. On the 31st of March, I was really having a bad day, what with the upcoming court date on the 4th of April and all. I was feeling very irritable then. I was walking the mall peacefully, but with the stress in my head. I answer a few calls from a troll or two, just to give you all a piece of my anger. Yes, laugh and scoff all you want. My answers were cursory and loud, overheard. Yes, I was chased by jerk-ops, but I did not receive the yellow slip until the 25th of April that said, banned. So, I later decided to pull a prank on you all. The elaborate Facebook note, letting you all shoot yourselves in the foot more by prank calling the mall and their latest manager, Mr. Wiener. His name was on the slip, next to manager. I too scoffed at his small sausage name. All I had to do was stay at home with doors locked and let you all argue and fight it out. I read your posts and laughed at everything you thought was true or what was false, theories and mistaken facts. You all think you know me, but you really do not. And you all just do not and never will understand me at all. And as long as your purpose of knowing me consists of that gossip columnist or worse, trolling, bullying, cyberbullying, abuse, or anything of malcontent. I do not want you to know me ever. In the end, you all have played right into my hands, like me overlooking the battlefield and picking up /
Chris
placing
played us
all
like a
one
bunch
by
of
one
damn
into
fiddles.
the bombing range center. I am a lot more intelligent, wise, and knowledgeable than your puny minds can theorize. I am not stupid, nor am I
He's
a
not
moron.
stupid, guys, okay?
And you
He
know
is a
what?
genius.
You all
He knows
have
all the
made
best
me this
words.
way. Crazy and paranoid, with loss of peace of mind. I'm watching each and every one of you fallible trolls, and rest assured, I know where each of you live, and I'm coming after each of you all. Yes, it was me, and those posts were real.
It was I!
A day
Dio,
later,
I
he
mean,
posted a
Chris
screenshot
Chan!
of another member's post on the Quickie forums, and revealed that the inspiration behind his trolling persona Jenkins Jinky's
Valaquenta.
elaborate childhood backstory
A
was
very
inspired
stable
by a
genius.
quote from the adult cartoon series Family Guy.
Possibly the
On May
most stable
1st,
genius,
he
I
further
dare say.
explained how he fooled the trolls by getting banned from the mall, and revealed that he had sex with someone he found on the back page. He closed his post by stating that he had made over 200 screen captures of the Quickie forums, intending to possibly use them as evidence in court. On May 9th, feeling lonely, Chris encouraged his Facebook friends to help him find a girlfriend by asking them to talk about him to women in Charlottesville. Kim Wilson left a reply, politely refusing to introduce Chris to random women, and would continue to supposedly talk about him with her own girlfriends. 3 days later, he posted the photo from 2007, which Daniel Mims and Lucas from The Game Place posted on the internet, and practically began the entire trolling campaign against him. Chris angrily declared that Mims ruined his life, and wanted his life to be ruined in return, by asking that someone kill his girlfriend. After Kim asked him what Mims' girlfriend had done to him, he reinforced his stance that Mims did not deserve to have any love in his life, because Chris had none in his. He wished the same unto
Like,
Megan Schroeder, but felt like he
there's
was
these
further
moments of
outside his
him
sphere
like,
of
man,
influence.
I feel bad
After
for him
Anna
being like
contributed to the
struggling with his
stating that it was a
mental
bad idea to
depression and
publicly
stuff.
post death
But then he
threats
turns
while
around
he
and
was
does stuff
involved
like
in an
this, and it's
ongoing
like,
trial.
dude,
Christian
you
wrote
just
that his
destroy
previous
all
comments
sympathy
were so
for you by
meant
being
for
as bad as the
trolls who
people
might
you
read them,
criticize.
so they would in turn treat Daniel Mims poorly. However, according to a tweet from the following day, he still wished for Mims' girlfriend to be
Just
killed.
for the record, I hope
He
you
soon
all
conceded
get cute
that she didn't
boyfriends
have
and
to die,
girlfriends.
and
You
simply
guys
wanted
all
for Mims
deserve
to
love.
become emotionally distraught.
Unless
Later
you
that
don't
day,
want a boyfriend
Christian
girlfriend,
revealed
in
on
which case I
Facebook
just
that
hope you
under
amass a
Barbara's
very
wishes,
good
they
large
both had
collection of
driven to
porn.
Fredericksburg, Virginia, to pick up two
Unless you
beagle
don't like
pups
porn,
from a
in which
puppy
case
farm.
I just
They
hope
were
you
named
eat a lot of
Clover
good
and
food.
Snoopy, and Chris shared their photos
Unless you're
online.
vegan, in which case,
During the second half of May, knowing full
thank
well
you
that
for
Chris
leaving
lurked
more
on the
meat for the
Quickie
rest of
forums,
us.
God
trolls
damn
on
it.
the site decided to devise a plan of printing out and placing defamatory posters of Christian throughout Charlottesville on June 2nd, in order to get him banned from every possible establishment and ensure that he is found guilty on all of his criminal charges. From May 26th, some trolls allegedly began warming up for their plan by posting photoshopped images of posters put up in some select locations across Charlottesville and custom signs branding him a sexual
The
deviant.
sign says no
Chris found these
Chris's.
pictures
We have
and
one
reposted
Chris,
them
we
on
just can't
Facebook
have
and
two.
asked his friends to confirm if they were real or fake. Anna commented that they were all fake and told him not to get tricked by them so easily. She also ousted Jackie and Kim as trolls. Chris did not react to this comment. A couple of days later, he asked that someone infiltrate the game place and see if they had any of the posters on display, because he suspected that Michael Snyder may have had a part in the poster scheme. In addition, based on information he read on the forums, he requested that one of his friends go to the bar Club 216 in Charlottesville, since that was an alleged meeting place for the trolls. On June 2nd, the so-called Tea Day, Christian woke up at around 6 a.m. and began observing his immediate surroundings from his home and kept a close eye on local news, all while making numerous Twitter and Facebook posts about his concerns over the poster and flyer campaign. He asked his friends and anyone else who was reading his comments to go out and try to catch trolls in the act. According to the phony information he had read on the Quickie forums, some of them would be dressed up as clowns, Ku Klux Klan members, or picklemen. He also feared that some of them may have come
Pickleman,
armed.
oh my god.
At
Pickle
one
Rick
point,
goes way
he
back.
believed that the trolls had hired a skywriter to write a defamatory statement about him. Chris angrily scolded his friends for not responding to his pleas for help. Kim soon left a reply, informing him that she had just gotten home from work and was not able to respond to him earlier, and that she also drew a blank and couldn't think of a thing to say. Anna left a more detailed reply. "Here is my reason for not saying anything. I know that it's all
Valaquenta.
fake, and that you've fallen for
Your
it
screen
once
is
again.
black.
Nobody's out there posting signs or protesting or anything. But if I say that, you won't believe me. And you have 11 friends on Facebook, many of whom do not even live in the Charlottesville area, and so could not check on things for you. And the rest may not have been on Facebook yet today, and those that have
Pinotandrous
might
berry
not be
jam.
subscribed to you, so they
No,
may
it's
not
blue.
have seen your posts. Chris retorted. I'm probably an idiot for asking at a time like this. How do you know? Do you have some intel of your own? Did you know a detail I did not? Please explain, Anna. Anna wrote back. You're not
No,
an
it's
idiot.
purple.
I know because people are still messaging me on Facebook telling me so. People who are still your fans. And because it's extremely obvious to me that the pictures of the posters hung up in places are fake. I've gotten very good at spotting the difference between real and fake over the years. And by using logic, it's easy to see that nobody's going to spend money on a plane ticket, /gas, /hotel room, /taking off work just to come torment you for a day.
No, it's Patrick.
2 days later, Christian published a Facebook note announcing that he had apparently informed the authorities about the flyer and poster ploy against him. He then lashed out at the trolls for lying about the poster campaign ever taking place, and revealed that he was reading the quickie forms using the account Trombonista.
No, this
On
is
that
the
same
Krusty
day,
Krab.
Chris wrote an email to his online gal pal, sharing his doubts about his future. I am so tired from stress, it is harder for me to maintain focus in thought. I feel like I just want to go ahead and die naturally, unless the stress kills me first, and I'm not going to commit suicide of any sort. At least I don't have to worry about dying a virgin. I feel like my dream of starting up a family with my future sweetheart and having our crystal daughter is not going to be realized, or come true. We do get out. It was just for June 2nd that I had to stay at home to remove me from any suspicion by the damn jerk-cops. We have no respect for the local police. I slept most of the day away after staying awake for
Chris
a long
is
while
basically
worrying.
giving the
I
autistic
crashed
version
at
of
about
fuck the
8
police.
My only great purpose now is for my mother, our 2 cats, and our 2 puppies. No girlfriend / sweetheart, as freaking promised from multiple dreams for Christian Weston Chandler. Only hatred, fear,
We have no
and a
respect
whole wide
for the
world of
local
extreme, unjustifiable
police.
shit lies in the wake of my once good name. Nobody really, truly understands me. I am sad, confused, lost. I do not understand. Stay safe with peace. Christian W. Chandler. Sent from my iPod. On June 8th.
Like, that's just it right there. That's exactly the victim mentality of, like, no one understands me, no one gets me. And it's like, no, people have tried to understand you several times and reach out to you and try and be nice, but you consistently don't want to compromise and meet at, like, a halfway point. So the end result is that, you know, you think no one cares about you, no one understands you, but it's actually that people understand you too much, and you're too simple.
But instead, he decided to move it to his church and run it for only one afternoon. After it was finished, he wrote that he raised $50 for the cause. On June 14th, he complained about a McDonald's employee who got angry with him for swearing and posted her photo on Facebook. On the 27th, Chris had an explosive outburst on Facebook, ordering all of
Hey,
his
that's
trolls
totally
and
legit.
cyberbullies
Like,
to
if
quit
you're going to
hating him,
McDonald's and ordering fast
discriminating
food,
against him,
like,
wanting him
there's
dead,
no reason you should have to
photographing
swear
and photoshopping
unless
him, among other
you get, like, a
demands.
really bad
Anna
order, but
suggested that he could solve the problem
in that
by
case,
withdrawing himself from
like,
the internet and changing his phone
that's
number.
that's kind of not too hard to
He couldn't
fix,
change his
right?
number because it was linked to too many things and contacts. Plus, it was on his business cards, which also listed a QR code connected to his Nintendo 3DS. On that same day, he complained about a woman at McDonald's who allegedly discriminated against him. He took a picture of her and shared it on Facebook, asking his friends and followers to throw a newspaper in her face. On June 28th,
that's kind of
Chris
illegal.
expressed his diminishing will to live from having a dead soul. He wrote that he had taken his Transformers Megatron pistol and shot himself in the head to symbolize how internally dead he felt. The next day, he wrote a lengthy post about his loneliness and hatred for the trolls, and also passively mentioned that he had recently been banned from 2 McDonald's establishments. I have been encountering people who started hating me in reference to the recent bans from those 2
I just love
McDonald's.
the
That
melodrama.
now makes 5 places I've been
Transformers
and am
account.
banned from around here, counting Fashion Square. Damn that man a jerk. Piedmont, Virginia Community College. Damn Mary Lee Walsh. And the place. Children fucking damned Michael Snyder. I seriously have been publicly invisible for
It's like-
years. The damn trolling stupids have manipulated me.
Foolish
Smeared my
Prime!
once good
You
name
did
filled
not
with worse
foresee
mud,
I
muck,
would
and
shoot an
bodily fluids,
autistic boy
mentally
in
and
a
emotionally raped me continuously, made the worst imaginable reputation of me on the internet, and relayed that onto offline life in gossip, rumors, and presidentially grand, fucked up campaigns. My mind is comparably as
I'm
worse
turning
off
into
as a
the
terribly
Joker
bad
all of a
drug
sudden.
addict,
I
constantly
just can't
blank,
stop
irritable,
laughing.
untalkative, ignorant to most social cues, lost in life, yada yada yada. Except I do not do any of those drugs or smoke, and I just do not
Oh,
understand
thank
most
you.
people
Someone just
and a
said
lot
my
of shit
Megatron
in
voice
life.
was really good. Thank
It was
you.
possibly around this time that Chris wrote a brief
But I do
Facebook
not
post
need
praying
your
that someone
feeble
plant a bomb in the
appreciations.
game place
All I
and have it
need is to
destroyed,
destroy
along with Michael Snyder.
Starscream.
He quickly deleted these comments. On the final day of June,
Yeah, a
he
lot
asked
of
Chris'
characters
Facebook
Frank
friends to
Welker
help him with
voices
a
are
power
fun to do.
outage caused by a tree that had fallen on the power lines.
You could really
On
VA
July
for an
1st,
anime, your
the
laugh
tree
is
was
so good.
removed and power
That's
was restored to
kinda
Chris's
like
house and his neighborhood.
I'm not like
On
doing
July
this
10th,
really trying to
54
force
users,
myself on anyone or
Cyan and
be like, hey,
Indigo,
notice me,
attended
notice me. I
Christian
really
and
want to do
Barbara's
voice acting, but
arraignment
like
at Charlottesville's
this
circuit
could be a
court, and
catalog
later
for
gave
people to
their own
look
accounts
through
of
and
what
be
had
like,
happened on the forums.
Congrats, you're
Barbara
Voldemort
was
now.
the first to go. When the judge began
ah,
asking the usual questions,
Harry
such
Potter
as,
is
do you fully
dead.
understand the charges you face? Barbara asked if she could have Belle answer for her. The judge wasn't very patient with
Yeah,
her,
Ralph
and
Fiennes
Barbara
has this.
seemingly attempted to protest. Barbara
He
simply
has
answered
a
yes
very
to all the
nasally
standard questions,
voice,
pleaded guilty, and sat back down.
and
Barbara
Voldemort
looked
is
as though
easier
she'd
to
lost
do
significant
because he
weight, and
sounds.
another older woman
He's
was
doing
with
a
them.
voice of
It's
his
been
own.
confirmed that she's Rocky.
But
Meanwhile,
like his
Chris
normal,
was
if
busy
I couldn't
completely
do like his normal
disassociating
talking
himself
voice
from the
like
situation.
Ramses
He
from
fiddled around with his sunglasses,
the Prince of
making a few
Egypt,
noises
or
when they
that
collided
guy he
with the
plays in
table
Schindler's
every now
List.
and then, played with his ring, and didn't seem like he was paying much attention to dialogue he probably ought to be listening to. The
Technically,
prosecution got
Voldemort
to
was
have a
also
speech
played by
before it was
Stephen
Christian's turn
Fry
to take
since
the
he read
stand.
the
I
audiobook.
can't remember everything they said, but the important parts were that Snyder didn't want Chris and Barb to be stuck with a felony charge, and that he hoped that the plea bargain would be accepted by the judge. Bell took a turn to speak. He surprisingly introduced Chris as high-functionally autistic, which is an outdated term and not part of the autism spectrum. At one point, he called Chris an adult autistic child. This drew a notable reaction out of Chris. He went so far as to change his facial expression from severe pouting to as close to outrage as he dared show. He nearly interrupted his lawyer, but must have thought better of it and quieted whatever he was going to say into an intelligible mumble. He also made note that if the plea bargain was accepted, Chris would be assimilated into the world, taught how to contribute
I swear,
to
if he'd
society,
waited a few
and
more
would get
years,
psychiatric
Christian probably would have
evaluations
been
and
pardoned
treatment.
by
Chris mumbled something
the
and seemed
president
really
who shall
distressed
not be
by all of
named.
this. When Chris was brought to the stand, he stress-sighed first thing. He then repeated his mother's earlier question in hopes to get Bell to speak for him. The judge shot him down the same way he did his mother, and proceeded to ask the questions. This is where the things got amusing. Do you understand that you're to be charged the court fees should you accept the plea bargain? Yes, my mother will be taking care of that. Do you understand that you're to pay Michael John Snyder for his medical expenses? Yes, but I don't think that thieving liar deserves a red cent. Oh yes, folks, I kid you not. The beloved mayor of Quickville committed public slander in a
Oh
court of law. I
no.
expected a harsh reprimand for such egregiously bad behavior.
At that point, they're probably
and
just like, let's
perhaps
just
even
get this
for his
guy out
plea
of here.
bargain
He's
to
gonna
be
just
denied.
like keep looping
But
us
alas,
back around and
the
keeping
judge
us here
pretty much
forever.
let it go and continued on. Welp, another free pass for Chris, brought to you by the Autism Card. And finally, when asked if he willingly pleaded guilty and was his own conscious choice, Chris hesitated for a good 5 seconds. Yes. Barbara Chandler and Christian Chandler were both found guilty of failed to stop at the scene of an accident, and Barbara was charged with assault on an officer. Barbara was sentenced with community service and 2 years of probation.
That's a
and
big
Chris was
oof.
sentenced with community service, 1 year of probation, and must comply with
Oh
all
man, that's the
psychiatric
court.
treatment
That's
and
the courtroom
evaluation.
sketch.
If he fails to do so, he faces jail time. Cyan provided his readers with his depiction of Chris in court.
Oh,
The
in
next
court.
day, Chris went to Facebook to write that he knew that Cyan and Indigo were present in the courtroom, and that his lawyer, Rob Bell, confronted them. He then clarified that he did not call Snyder thieving and lying, but rather bribing and lying. As his frequent court appearances subsided, Christian showed no sign of stopping to express his hatred against the owner of the game place, or his burning desire to escape his current real-life situation. For him, The social media site
Yeah,
Facebook
like Tiger
offered
King
an
came
easy
out, and
way
I'm
to
like,
voice his
oh, so this
innermost
guy is
thoughts
just
to his friends and
a
foes,
subpar Chris
and
Chan.
continued to do so because despite what he had been told, he felt that his constant monologuing
But
and reaching out
he's
to
like so
others offered
eye-opening
him an
because it's
avenue to
like
some of
this
his
is
most
what
sought after
happens
things:
in the
love
uncontrolled,
and validation.
truly like fringe parts of the internet where people will mess with guys like Chris. So it's like it's kind of eye-opening for me because it's like why you have to be careful when you engage people online and be careful who you engage with. So um let's see. What do I have next on my subs? Da, 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 da. I like this
There's a
guy's
short
videos.
history of one-on-one fighting games trying to spin off into other genres. Mortal Kombat had the infamous Mythologies, Special Forces, and Shaolin Monks games, Virtua Fighter had the barely talked about Virtua Quest, Soul Calibur had a Wii hack and slash for some reason, and Dead or Alive, let's just say, did its own thing. Probably the most ambitious and high budget of the bunch comes from Tekken though,
Wow,
with Death
you
by
watch
Degrees, and
too.
there is a lot going on in this game. Combat that tries to redevelop the wheel, weapons,
I actually
backtracking,
only just
puzzles,
started
sniping
watching a
segments, a
Tunche because
leveling and skill system, stealth,
apparently he said
swimming,
his
mini
channel
games,
just kind of
plenty of
exploded
cutscenes. The
recently, so I must
game
be part of
promises
that
to
wave
balance
of
so
people he's
many
been getting.
different things at once. So let's dive in and look at all the pieces to see what this fascinating amalgamation of a game gets right, what it gets wrong, and if it all comes together. From a critical and sales standpoint, it absolutely did not. It came out towards the end of the PS2's life cycle in 2005. It's one of those games that quickly found itself in the bargain bin, and without knowing anything about it, you can sort of tell why just by looking at it. Unless you're ultra familiar with what Nina looks like, nothing about this by the numbers cover screams Tekken, until you zoom in and enhance to see that the full title is Tekken's Nina Williams in Death by Degrees. Initially it was just called Nina, which I feel is a far more memorable title. Death by Degrees is a reference to the
She just
fighting
walks in
controls
and
using
says,
all 360
"I'm
degrees of the
Nina."
analog stick, but it has a double meaning because the bad guys want to overheat the world by burning methane hydrate on the ocean floor and kill everyone by degrees, I suppose. I can just imagine the boardroom light bulb moment when they came up with this mediocre title. Regardless, this is very much
We ain't just
Nina's
gonna have a
game,
title
and if you
drop.
don't know,
We're
is
gonna
your
have a
badass
title
Super Assassin Fighter
nuclear
type who's meant to be
bomb.
Irish despite having an American accent, and this game plays through a typical Nina mission while clearing up some of her backstory. It's set before the first Tekken after all. But the game is way more Resident Evil than it is Tekken. You have all the exploration and door unlocking and puzzling of an old Resident Evil game, and as far as that point and click-esque puzzling goes, it does a remarkably good job at keeping things clear enough that you never feel completely lost, but difficult enough that you actually have to think, and that's what this adventure style of game can struggle with most. Like, in these games, it's not uncommon that you have to consult a walkthrough to learn that you needed to combine the clamp with the clothesline and the rubber duck to progress, but here it's all logical and rewarding.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Sorry, I just closed the 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 the, the browser by accident. We'll have it back in a second here. Sorry. Oh right, I was in my subscriptions. Hey, there's me. Ooh.
Valaquenta. Wait, can you watch you own stream?
Oh yeah, it's funny. It's like what do you call it? A Mobius strip or an infinite mirror or something like that. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, it's funny. But give it a second here. Like what do you call it? A Mobius strip or an infinite mirror or something like that. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, it's but give it a second here. Like what do you call it? A Mobius strip or an infinite mirror or something like that. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, but give it a second here. Now it just loops and loops and loops. Now it just loops and loops and loops. It's like life, man. I wonder how deep it'll go. Should we just keep leaving it and seeing how deep it goes until it, like, crashes or something? It's like
Valaquenta.
life, man. I wonder
Say
how
Joe
deep it'll
Biden
go.
is gay
Should we just keep
PLS.
leaving it and seeing how deep it goes until it, like, crashes or something? Joe Biden is gay PLS.
Say Joe Biden is gay PLS.
Joe Biden is gay PLS. Infinite Foxboy works. Okay, wow, what were we watching? Fubuki's Secret Plan. Let's put that away. I'll gotcha first. Please. Finger of Matsuri! Oh! You got it! As expected from me, Matsuri-sama! Matsuri-chan. Fubuki, what's wrong? Because of the agreement, I can fulfill one of your wishes. I don't really have any wants. If a small wish that I want to fulfill, just get me a cup of coffee, Fubuki. Fubuki. Matsuri-chan, do you like this? Ah! 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 You know what's funny is it was my dad that taught me to do that. I love Natsuro Fubuki forever. That was kind of sweet. It went well. Just as planned! Actually, the one that Matsuri pulled, I knew she would come soon. That I intentionally pulled one so that it would profit me even more if I had a good pull. But it would be more fun if I used this chance to play. Well, even though I can just do it. Everybody, that was really fast. I couldn't keep up with that. Just as planned. You guys want to hear me do a Joker laugh?
Valaquenta. Do it.
Okay, here we go. Alright, Joker laugh. Deep breath, get one. Air in the lungs. Okay. I messed up there. Okay, try again. Oh, Batman, you're going to entertain me for quite some time, I feel. You know, it's a shame when you don't do this more often. I could really go for some bat soup. So yeah, I watched way too much Mark Hamill as a kid, and it shows.
Here it's all logical and rewarding. All of the written documents are meaningful, and if you take note of things at the very start of the game, that knowledge will come in handy 8 hours later at the end. The setups and payoffs are great memory tests that don't feel obvious.
Well, I mean,
it'll show you
Joker
that
and
these
Batman
statues
are
actually come
basically
to
a gay
life as mechs,
couple,
and
more
then
or
you need to
less.
remember where you saw them so that you can destroy them, or near the end you need to take a medallion into hot and cold areas, so logically you take it into the freezer and boiler rooms that you visited way back at the start of the game. At another point, you see enemies that are looking for something they've lost, and hours later you find what they were looking for when you visit the room that they were in. It's rewarding to keep track of everything that you see, hear, and read because most of it comes back around at some point. As simple as it is, it's remarkable at making everything feel significant, and it gives you a sense that thought and care went into designing everything. And the more straightforward, less memory-based puzzles are impressive too. My favourite one has you directing a guy through a maze while he's being chased, but you have very limited vision of where he is, so you have to go off a few cameras and his descriptions of intersections to get him to the exit. Again, it's really simple, but it's cerebral and inventive enough to make you feel clever. There was one puzzle that I really didn't like though, where you had to enter a password.
That's basically
to
Five Nights
continue.
at Freddy's.
The game drops so many codes and passwords around the map, so I tried all of those to no avail, only to find out that it wanted me to simply enter R for Romeo and J for Juliet because there's a Romeo and Juliet painting on the wall. That was the one time I had to use a walkthrough, but thankfully it was only that one time. So Death by Degrees gets the fundamentals of a good adventure game down well, but it's also trying to be a Devil May Cry-esque hack and slash, and this is where things aren't quite as smooth. The most glaringly obvious problem is the fixed camera, which frequently surprises you with enemies off screen, and it even has Nina fighting them off screen sometimes, which is like, how did that even happen? And it switches really often depending on where you are, so you'll constantly be disoriented by what's going on.
Bruh, it's so
like
cinematic.
Last Honor, you flick the right stick towards enemies to attack, but when the camera switches, you'll be caught flicking it in the wrong direction all too often. Even just running around outside of combat is irritating.
Yeah, that was like a whole control scheme for a while, was people trying to use the analog stick for some kind of action command instead of a decent camera control.
It doesn't feel great. It works, and the more you use it, the better it gets, and there's plenty of combos and some timing and decision making to be done, like all good combat systems, but it just feels loose and unimpactful. You use the triggers for grab, combo, and a high damage special meter X-ray move, beating Mortal Kombat 9 to that impressive visual effect, and building up the meter to pull off one of these moves always feels great, unlike doing basically anything else. A lot of the problem stems from the way dodging and blocking is handled. Dodging actually uses the left stick instead of the right, the same stick you use to move, where you need to flick it in one direction and then quickly bring it back to the center to register it as a dodge, or just let go of the stick so it recenters itself. What ends up happening is the time between your brain realizing you should dodge, the joystick returning to its default position, and the game realizing you want to dodge rather than simply move is way too long for you to have actually dodged what's coming for you. So the dodge is instead useful as a move in combos, whereas it should be useful for, dodging. So instead you try to block, but this involves flicking the right stick towards enemies just like an attack. If you time it right, it'll block instead of attacking. Now, to be fair, it does work, but
those guys must have had those suits made by like Guy Fieri or something.
And it's unnatural to use the attack input to block. Both blocking and dodging kind of just feels like you're relying on the game figuring out your intentions, and it doesn't always get it right. So the most effective strategy ends up simply being spamming combos and moving a lot in the hope that you don't get hit. No matter how many enemy types they throw at you, they're all defeated by spamming the same combos. Because dodging and blocking is so bad, you never really get into that twitchy fighting game flow that Tekken and all good fighters get you into, and the worst part is, a normal control system would have fixed these problems. Regardless of if you like this combat or not, and I know that there are a few defenders of it out there, I think that you'll agree that traditional controls would have vastly improved things, and it doesn't help that it makes you press both the triggers on the one side of the controller or click in the right stick to do certain attacks. It's just sort of icky, and again the camera makes it all worse. You can hold a trigger to go into a free cam mode to subvert the camera issues, but locking on is too clunky, it'll lock off enemies seemingly at random, and lots of areas simply don't let you use the free cam. Death by Degrees truly has one of the most asinine camera systems that I've ever had the pleasure of dealing with. The true most effective strategy in combat though is simply using weapons, which are powerful and get the job done quick. Melee weapons knock back multiple enemies at once, firearms work great
I'm
at a
suddenly
distance,
reminded of like
throwables like
Deadpool or
grenades are a bit
Psylocke
clunky
from
but are
X-Men.
better than nothing. So exploring for weapons is
If you don't know
important.
what Psylocke looks like, you'll see why that reminds me of Psylocke, because we're looking at ponytail and like a really yeah, like skin tight bodysuit, double swords, ponytail, fun stuff. They usually have a hard time getting her right because she was created in the 90s to like appeal to that. Oh yeah, like look there, that's a pretty tight cut there.
Valaquenta. Oh no, she's hate.
Oh no, she's hot. Yeah, but like in the 90s that was a big thing. It's like, our superheroes don't need to be like your dad's superheroes. They're not afraid to show a little skin and be sexy. But eventually her design became kind of a classic. Oh my god! The way they did it on this figure here, look at that. And she has this like... that looks so wrong. It's like how her figure works, but it just looks so wrong. Ah, man. I wonder who's this made by? Marvel Legends? Yeah, most of these don't... Ooh, that looks rough too. Yeah, like Japan's really taken off in terms of like being kind of the ultimate guys at making good toys. Or like figurines, I should say.
So exploring for weapons is important simply so you can get the combat over and done with quickly. You play a neat swapping minigame to open the weapons caches scattered around, which themselves are a godsend, and taking out goons with dual katanas is actually very cathartic. Exploring for food is also very important. The game is quite challenging, but you can always pause mid-fight, open the inventory, and just eat 20 meals until your health is full again. The fact that you can do this takes a lot of tension out of the combat, especially because there's plenty of food to be found, but I'm also thankful that you can do this.
You just block all
because
those bullets with a sword. I hate when they do that.
It's also a great way to cheese the otherwise frustrating boss battles. The first one in particular is very, very punishing, and it will force you to get used to the controls, but the bosses and the game in general gets easier as it goes along because of the leveling up and stockpiling of items. Leveling not only lets you buy new combos with experience points, but it more importantly dramatically improves your max health and x-ray meter, and you level quick enough to not need to grind, which I appreciate. I comfortably hit the level cap well before the end of the game. In an ideal world, I'd be sneaking around and breaking necks to avoid the combat even more, but the camera problems infect the stealth too. Enemies will spot you from way off screen, so you'll want to use the free cam mode, but ignoring when it doesn't even let you. In that mode, you have to run at full speed, like you can't even walk, let alone sneak, meaning that enemies will often just hear you before you even see them.
Should
So the
I try and
combat's no
schedule
good,
more
and that's a
stuff,
huge problem,
or
but
do
just
people
how
just
big of a
kind of
problem
catch
it
up to
is
their
depends on
streamers
how
whenever they
good the rest
want?
of the game is. Among the fighting and puzzling, the occasional forced set-piece sniping segment tends to break things up, but
Because I'm
it's
not
just
sure
duck-and-cover
sometimes, like, it
shooting,
seems
sort of
like
like
people are
Namco's
cool to
very
just
own Time
chill.
Crisis,
Like,
which shares some of the
I
same
don't know how
developers.
much
It'd be fun if I had a light
people
gun, but as it
actually,
is, it's frankly too simple to be interesting, and each sniping
maybe care
segment
that
goes
much
on
what you're
for
doing. It
far
seems
too
like a lot
long.
of people just
Now,
kind
from top
of,
to bottom, Death by Degrees is dripping with a certain Metal Gear Solid vibe. From the menus and UI to the infiltration mission and getting captured story, to the vent crawling, to the mechs and drones, to the communication over an earpiece, to the military rations, to the flamboyant villains. There's even trippy boss battles where Nina gets drugged and has to fight off zombie hallucinations. I'd go as
yeah,
far
I
as
don't know.
saying
I'm
that
still
Death
trying
by
to figure
Degrees
out what's
imitates
best.
Metal Gear Solid far more than any other game, only with less philosophy and politics and more bikinis and heavy metal. I'm sure you've already noticed, but it's very Japanese male gaze fan service stuff. Her clothes change and tear apart over the course of the game, and there's one point where Nina has to go through a metal detector, which apparently means taking off almost everything. It's very, very lowbrow and it's very corny. The CIA and MI6 team up to send Nina into a fight club on an eccentric luxury cruise ship owned by a criminal organization to uncover their evil plan to make a superweapon. Just another day at the office in the Tekken world. Namco get to once again prove how good they were at cutscenes, and we get to save planet Earth. Unfortunately, the story is very standard, save the world, exposition dump stuff, and the characters are too underbaked to really leave an impression. Like, take the evil villains which you take down in a series of boss battles. They're clearly designed to be silly, colorful, and over the top, but they never quite go over the top. Like, they're never given any crazy speeches, you don't see them enough.
Yeah, I think I was just worried about schedule, because then people are like, oh, I don't want to...
too enthusiastic.
I want to watch it live, so if I miss the stream, I'm not going to bother.
How about it? You and me, partners.
One of the villains is Nina's younger sister and rival Anna, who's in the other Tekken games. We're treated to some flashbacks of just why they hate each other so much, which I appreciate. They blame each other for the death of their father, who died when they were kids. The drugged boss battles send Nina into flashbacks of the event, and this is the better told, more interesting story that helps explain why Nina is the cold-blooded type that she is. The most memorable character in the game is actually the cruise ship itself. It's a mishmash of Art Deco, ancient Greece, and a regular cruise ship, and I'm here to bask in its weird ambience. The game looks really nice too, with the relatively high-res textures and reflections and environments being well thought out, and though it's mostly set on the ship, the middle third of the game takes place in a grimy industrial prison cross research facility, which I initially thought that I'd dislike, but I found it to be a really memorable and interesting place in its own right. It's run down, depressing, and thematically a lot darker than you'd expect from Tekken. The atmosphere is almost more like a horror game.
It's funny because I checked out
another
stream earlier from this one VTuber who does like they're mute, so they can't speak.
There is one more glaring problem
but
to dampen even
you know what a time to be able to use the internet, because you can type use voice to text stuff, so they still communicate, right? And their VR is a lot better than mine, so they can like wave and give thumbs up and stuff like that.
So traveling becomes a pain because
yeah, but people were just watching her play. I think it was Solitaire or some card game or something like that. So yeah, it seems like some people are just. It's like the personality. People come for the personality. They want to just kind of be around someone that's enjoyable, I guess.
Nina fan, and if you are, I'm guessing that you've already played this. And if you are a fan, you'll appreciate the simple, short, challenging bonus unlockable campaign where you play as Anna, and the unlockable secret boss battle you get for completing it. There's also plenty of costumes and a New Game Plus mode, which makes the higher difficulty settings more tolerable, and there's plenty of little references to Tekken characters like with the posters on the wall, or a cameo by Heihachi. If you're playing this game for the first time and find that the combat isn't for you, I'd consider downloading a save file.
Or I guess who's the other guy that Penguin Zero, or is it Moist Critical? I forget his name. Yeah, there's another guy, he does a lot of YouTube videos, and like a lot of them are just his sort of his stream highlights and stuff like that.
I just come for the voice XDJK.
So I gotta do a sexy voice then, that's how I get people to come.
Melville's Moby Dick until I remember when you were a kid and your parents would make you go spend a week with your aunt and
Oh, this channel is great, by the way, if you never watched it. Ask a Mortician basically does like really morbid sort of topics. So like literally morbid in the sense of dealing with death and funeral home stuff and like burial preparation. So it's a really fascinating world of stuff that some people might be like a little squeamish over, but I think it's fascinating because it's like, hey, if there's one thing you know is going to happen to you in life, you're going to die someday. So why not, invest some time in figuring out, how to prepare for it and make sure you don't leave your family with any burdens and stuff.
And out in the desert, sometimes my only options were country radio or Christian radio, both of which I kind of enjoy. I'm not gonna lie to you. To get me through the long drives, I obtained a 22-hour-long
Hi, thank you.
audiobook of
Thank you for coming and joining us.
CD. What I didn't realize at the time, listening to Moby Dick, is that 1, it was based on a true story, and 2,
like on top of her videos being good, her hair is just on point.
When I was in Nantucket a few months ago, I learned the true story of the whaling ship Essex. My first response was, oh, we're doing a video on this. This is a concept that has become a staple of this channel. Historical events that you sort of know about, but you're sure the death and brutality are exaggerated, and then you do the research and it's much darker than you thought.
Like a big thing I kind of hope to do when I die, if possible, is I want to have as like minimalist a burial as possible.
Of those salmon-colored shorts and multi-million-dollar vacation homes.
So like I want to get as close to just being buried in a hole as I can, but it's actually kind of hard to do. So I might have to, because they kind of want you to dispose of the body, right? Like they don't want something rotting.
We shall farm this land.
Quickly stripped all the island's natural resources and left it depleted. Then they were
Yay!
like,
oh, never mind. We shall be whalers. That will go much better than the farming.
Early Nantucket whaleboat crews were manned by 5 Wampanoag oarsmen and 1 white Nantucketer steering. White Nantucketers needed the skills and whale savvy of the Wampanoag, as well as the back-breaking labor they provided in killing the whales, mainly right whales at the time. Whale facts. Right whales were named right whales because they were the right whale to kill. By the early 1700s, Nantucket was a prosperous whaling port, but it didn't last. By the 1760s, the English had pretty effectively decimated both the Nantucket Wampanoag population and all the whales around Nantucket.
You know what's crazy about whale conservation and like the whole Save the Whale campaigns is one of the things that stopped the largest industries killing whales by the masses was actually the petroleum industry coming along. So by inventing like oil, which now like is kind of, we're trying to minimize our use of it, or at least try and address it and maybe be a little more effective with it.
By lamp oil and candles.
Yeah, like she's saying here.
In fact, whale oil made the American Industrial Revolution possible. And so, during
yes, exactly. Whale oil was basically what was used before petroleum, and then petroleum came along, and it's like, oh my gosh, we don't have to risk guys hunting whales.
Caitlin, it was a sperm whale skeleton. You can't even get your own childhood trauma right. And I think it's part of where my terror of whales came from, is walking under that huge, massive whale skeleton and actually getting a sense of how large they really are. That's a fun fact about me. I'm afraid of whales. Whale facts. Caitlin is afraid of them.
So is she also afraid of orcas? Or is it like, does she like, oh no, that's fine. Those only look like whales. But they're not actually whales. Orcas are also sometimes called killer whales, right? But they're not related to whales at all.
It's a little less scary now, but still freaky. As an adult, I have a new appreciation.
Yeah, if you ever watch like Pinocchio or like actually yeah, any movie that has an evil whale, it's a sperm whale, so they are kind of creepy.
Had a different kind of appreciation. The appreciation of just how much money the whales could make them. This huge cavern at the top of the sperm whale's head contained spermaceti, which for the sperm whale helps with echolocation and buoyancy, but for sailors and whalers it was just gold. The sperm whale's head alone holds between 3 to 4 tons of that liquid gold spermaceti. A whaler could literally ladle the spermaceti into barrels. It's estimated that by the mid-19th century, whalers had reduced the world's sperm whale population by anywhere from 30 to 75%. Well,
oof. No one
there
wants a
used
low
to be
sperm
5
count.
million whales on Earth, but due to commercial whaling, today there are about 1.3 million whales. I don't need to tell you that destroying the world's whale population is bad, right? Not only do whales capture carbon in their bodies,
Apparently,
like
yes.
33
There are some
tons
people
of
that haven't
carbon
gotten
in a
that
larger
memo.
whale, their poop may save us all. Whale poop contains iron and nitrogen, exactly what teeny
I know there's still a
creatures
few
called
countries in
phytoplankton
Asia
need
that
to
hunt
grow.
whales for
Phytoplankton
meat
suck
and
up
other
about
stuff,
40%
so
of the world's CO2
I can't.
and contribute
You know,
at least
I'm someone who will
50%
eat
of the
almost
world's
any kind of
oxygen.
food,
So,
but
have you
that is
thanked
probably
whale
one I
poop today?
wouldn't touch. Actually, is whale. I have no
So
desire
let's see.
to
Depletion
eat
of
whale
natural
at all.
resources, the near extinction of an indigenous population,
Unless I was
whale
maybe like
destruction,
visiting like the
and
far
we
north,
haven't
like
even gotten
there's
to
I
the
think there's Inuit
cannibalism
people
yet.
that eat like whale
By
blubber and stuff.
1819, the year the whale ship
I might try
Essex
that.
left
That's
port,
kind of
the
different
world's economy was foundering, but Nantucket's was
because a
still
lot of that
thriving.
is hunted very
The price of whale
responsibly
oil
and
was on the
like
rise,
very
and
minimal
with it
impact.
came
It's not like
opportunities
the
for men to make
large
money on the
industrial
whale
scale whale
for
hunting you see in
Nantucketers,
some
there was no
countries.
greater call. The Essex was commanded by first-time captain, 28-year-old George Pollard Jr. Pollard was young, but experienced. He had spent 4 years aboard the Essex as both second mate and first mate, so he knew the old ship well. Pollard was joined by fellow Nantucketers second mate Matthew Joy and first mate Owen Chase, both of which sound like the name of TikTok stars. Owen Chase is everything. I would literally die for him. The crew of 21 included Captain Pollard's 17-year-old cousin, Owen Coffin, a young man that Pollard swore to protect, and his boyhood friends Charles Ramsdell and Barzillai Ray, all sailors. There was also the 14-year-old cabin boy, Thomas Nickerson, who called the moment he set foot on the Essex the most pleasing moment of my life. Oh, Thomas. Oh, honey. Additionally, there were 7 more sailors from Nantucket, and 7 black crew members from the mainland. Samuel Reed, Richard Peterson, Lawson Thomas.
Yeah, it's
Carl
pretty
Shore,
amazing, like
Isaiah
those
Shepard,
old
William Bond,
sail
and Henry
ships
DeWitt.
and
On the one hand, being a
the
black whaler
intricacy of
meant you were
operating
guaranteed
them
to
and
be
the
paid
skill
no
needed
less than your white
and the
counterparts.
absolute
Nantucketers
danger
were
of being
Quakers
on
and
them.
abolitionists.
Because, you know, this was
But
a day and age
realistically,
long
black crew
before
members were the new
harnesses
wampanoag.
and
Backbreaking
safety
work, no opportunities for
rigging
advancement,
was like
they got the worst
mandatory.
quarters and food, and were always seen as outsiders.
So a
All
lot of
things that
times these
would not
guys would be
help
sitting
them
on nothing more than a plank
later.
suspended by rope,
Am I doing enough to build up
you
the
know,
uncomfortable sense
hanging,
of foreboding
tying
here?
knots and
On
stuff,
August 12th,
20 feet
1918,
above
the Essex and her
the
crew set out for what
deck
they
of
thought
the
would be a
ship,
bountiful
and another
2-year
10
voyage
feet
to South
plus
America.
to the water.
Despite being an old
So
ship
you're like
and a small
30
ship,
feet
the
above
Essex was believed to be lucky.
the
That
sea
is,
level.
until they hit bad weather in the Gulf Stream and suffered a knockdown where the boat rolled over 90 degrees.
You know, I heard a story about a guy from
Captain
Nantucket
Pollard
once.
stayed calm. Maybe
Let me
too
just say the rumors about him
Many
were
believed it was his
extremely
slowness to
exaggerated.
react to the storm that got them knocked down in the first place. And gradually, the ballast was able to right the ship. When the storm passed, the men surveyed the damage. Some sails were destroyed.
Also,
and
let
2
me
of
know
the
if
5
volume
whaleboats were
levels
lost.
need
A
any
third
adjustment, if
whaleboat
the mic is
badly
too low, if
damaged.
you
The
want
successful whale ship needed 3
the video
working
volume
whaleboats
louder
for
or stuff
hunt
like that.
and 2 spares. At this point, Captain Pollard decided to return to Nantucket for repairs, but first mate and TikTok star Owen Chase challenged him, saying they should continue to the Azores and pick up new boats there. Pollard yielded to Chase, and they continued on. The Azores, unfortunately, provided no new whaleboats. It wasn't until weeks later that Pollard was able
Azores.
to
I always thought it was
obtain a single
Azores for
old,
some reason.
leaky whaleboat from a
I don't
wrecked
know if
ship
anybody
off the
speaks
coast of
Portuguese,
West
but
Africa.
I don't
With
know if
just
that's
enough
the
whaleboats to continue on, the Essex
like how they
turned
would
south
pronounce it.
and sailed in search of its prey. Then, between Rio de Janeiro and Buenos Aires, the lookout cried, "There she blows!" Yes, they really said that. Spying a whale sent the Essex crew into
There she blows!
were hastily
I grin at thee, white demon of the deep!
This was why they were here. Herman Melville said in Moby Dick that it was a dead whale or a stove boat, meaning a boat with a hole smashed into it. Either you kill the whale or the whale kills you. A brief Whale Hunt 101. The three boats would race each other to get to the whale first. Being the first to reach the whale and kill it gave the victor bragging rights. But they couldn't come in too hot and frighten the whale. Whales have great hearing, so too much splashing could chase them away. When the whale was close enough, the harpooner would plunge the 5 or 6 foot long harpoon into the 80-ton animal. The harpoon wasn't meant to kill the whale, just make sure he couldn't get away. Obviously, when someone harpoons you, you don't stick
Yeah,
around.
the whole,
The
like,
panicked
whale
creature
hunting
would
business is
crash,
just
dive,
brutal,
and swim
too.
away, hauling the whaleboat behind it on a Nantucket sleigh ride. After the whale exhausted itself, the whaleboat crew drew closer to make the kill. With a lance, the mate would attempt to stab the heart.
But that's
or lungs of the
actually,
whale,
that's a
sometimes needing to stab the animal
pretty...
10 or 15 times.
It's kind of,
The whale would
it's
start
been
to
lost
choke,
since the day and age of
spouting a
inventing
20-foot
firearms, but
geyser
that
of
used to be
blood.
how the majority of
"Chimney's
hunting
afire!"
went, was
the mate
you
shout.
would,
After more thrashing about, more
basically try
spewing
and
of
tire
blood and
out
vomiting,
the animal
the whale would
and then
swim
kill
in
it once it's
smaller and
exhausted.
smaller circles called the flurry, before finally dying and turning over on its side, or fin out. Bobbing in a sea of blood and gore, the hunt was over, and it was time to slowly tow the whale
Poor
headfirst
Mr.
back
Whale.
to the ship. The dead whale was then processed, its blubber peeled from its body.
But
in
it's still
long
like something you
strips,
kind of
then
want to
boiled
watch because
down
it's
to
like,
extract
this
the
is
oil.
how we got
The whale was
to
decapitated, and
the modern
precious
day.
sperm
Like, we
semi
wouldn't
was
have
lifted out
internet
by
streaming. We wouldn't be
buckets as
watching
much as
this on YouTube if
500
it weren't
gallons.
for,
Once all
you know, the
blubber,
guys of that era doing
spermaceti,
this.
and ambergris, a valuable waxy substance used to make perfume and found in the intestinal tract, had been removed from the whale, the carcass was dumped back in the ocean, often to waiting sharks.
Actually, it's pronounced
All in all,
ambergris.
processing a sperm whale was a painful, pungent endeavor that could take days to complete. As they neared Cape Horn, the Essex had been out for 4 months and only killed 1 whale. If this is how things were going to be, their voyage would be far more than the planned 2 years. But their luck turned when they made it to the waters off the coast of Chile and killed and processed approximately 11 whales. But Captain Pollard wasn't going to give his crew a vacation. He wanted to head to an area thousands of miles off the coast of Peru, further than many whale ships dared venture, called the offshore ground. Supposedly, the place was lousy with whales. But before heading out, 2 things happened. One of the black sailors, Henry DeWitt, deserted the ship in Ecuador.
Hey,
It
Henry.
proved to be an excellent
Probably the
decision
smartest guy on
by
that
Mr.
ship.
DeWitt.
It's like,
And
fuck
2,
this
the
shit, I'm
Essex
out.
stopped at the Galapagos Islands, where they captured 180 tortoises for food. The tortoises weren't killed, they were allowed to roam about the ship, skittering across the deck in rough weather, periodically being eaten. Then, as a prank, one of the crew members set fire to nearby Charles Island, now Floriana Island, destroying the island's ecosystem and contributing to the extinction of its specific, scientifically significant Galapagos tortoises. You're doing great, boys. Now, here's where things get very Moby Dick. The Essex is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean when Nickerson, remember the cabin boy who was like, "Ah, this is amazing, I'm on a whale ship," spots a giant, reportedly 85-foot-long whale acting strangely nearby. Now, the captain and the others are off in whaleboats pursuing a whale. And Nickerson's like, Suddenly, the whale barrels towards the Essex port side. First mate Owen Chase happens to be aboard the Essex because his whale ship was smashed by another whale's tail and needed repairs. It's not been a great day at the office. Chase calls to turn the ship away, but it's too late, and the enormous whale rams the side of the ship. The crew falls, tortoises are flying around, the whole ship trembles. Chase and the crew are speechless. To their knowledge, this was the first time ever that a whale had attacked a ship. In all the years men were going around brutally slaughtering the whales, this was the first whale's revenge. The whale bumps the underside of the Essex and then reappears, apparently stunned. Chase makes a move to lance the whale, but stops, thinking its flukes were too close to the rudder. This could actually have been the Essex's fatal mistake. It might have been better to have a damaged rudder than no ship at all. I'm pretty sure anything is better than no ship at all in this scenario. The whale swims a few hundred yards away, doubles its speed, and swims at the ship again. This time it hit the Essex on the port bow, pushing the 238-ton Essex backwards and flooding and capsizing the ship. Chase and Nickerson and the men left on the ship barely have time to grab some navigational equipment and scramble into a whaleboat. Only 2 miles away, Captain Pollard and the other sailors out on the whaleboats look around and go, hey, haven't you guys seen, the ship? But the Essex had disappeared. Her capsized hull barely floating above the waterline. From the first hit to the sinking of the ship, it only took 10 minutes. All Chase could say in response to the captain's inquiry was,
"We've been stove by a whale."
So picture this. You're the captain of this huge whaleboat in the middle of the ocean, and that boat is now missing. And there's a killer whale on the loose. Not a killer whale like an orca, like an 85-ton murderous whale.
Boo.
Now, to be fair, at the time this would be absolutely terrifying, and "there's a vengeful whale" would be your explanation as you're floating there, pretty much screwed. But the hindsight of science and history tells us that this huge sperm whale was more than likely confused by all the banging repair sounds coming from the ship, and mistook them for another aggressive male whale. Remember, these whales have terrible eyesight and locate mainly through sound. But they also have close family and
horny whale.
And maybe over time, the violent and random slaughtering of their family made the young males a little aggressive. Meanwhile, floating in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Captain Pollard ordered the crew to start salvaging anything they could, as much food and fresh water as possible, and any equipment they could safely carry in the whaleboats. 2 hogs and some tortoises swam to the boats and were pulled aboard. Everyone agrees they can't head for the closest islands, the Marquesas, which were 1,200 miles away, because they feared cannibalism. Pollard wanted to head for the next nearest islands, the Society Islands. Again, Owen Chase challenged him. Chase believed that the Society Islands also put them in danger of cannibalism, and that they should sail for South America. Turns out the Society Islands, where there had been an English mission for more than 20 years, would have been a great option. But once again, Pollard backed down and agreed to Chase's plan. South America or bust. The 20 remaining crew members were split between the 3 whaleboats. Each boat got 200 pounds of hardtack, basically flour and...
Do you guys want to keep watching this? Or I was thinking of playing Doom. If you guys want to watch me play Doom, what would you prefer? Do you want to finish... Because this video has another...
First decided to try and stay together. Not only did this boost morale, but second mate Matthew Joy's boat was without any navigational equipment. At the mercy of the...
Yeah, it has like another 20 minutes to it. So, I think I'll just play Doom. I mean, you guys know what the video is if you want to finish watching it, so... yeah, if I'm streaming, I should probably play games instead of just watch stuff. I feel. Oh, video. That's right. I hear monsters. Oh no! Oh, he killed me! Should have dodged more.
Valaquenta. Ever play Skyrim?
Yeah, I don't know, do you want me to play that instead? So I have Skyrim, I just stopped playing it because, I kind of got bored. Oh, yes, I know, there was a guy right there. Oh, I gotta... need some spicy boys for this boy. Oh! Except that was in my face. That's all she wrote. Ah, I died again! This level is definitely challenging me. Maybe I have to strafe more. Can I change my... There we go. Crosshair opacity. I want it. Okay, so I want it. That's better. Wait, did I get anything over here? No, I must have to still do something. Oh, why is it slowing down? Whoa, why is it lagging? That's really weird. It shouldn't be lagging like that. Okay, why does it keep going up? It's...
Valaquenta. I've been reading all of the Skyrim lore books and thought that might be a good idea for a stream.
I guess I didn't have to rock him. So you've been reading all the books as like an objective when you play Skyrim, or you've been doing that? Whoa. Where'd you go? It's weird to get used to how the aim in this kind of works, how it's like sort of auto-aiming.
Valaquenta. Well, I didn't read them at first. I gathered a lot of them and used the wiki to find the missing ones.
Oh, so you just mean you've been catching up on the lore lately? So weird. Oh, monsters! Oh, monsters, where could you be? Of course. Ah! Oh, that was dumb.
Valaquenta. I suppose what I'm trying to suggest is a TES lore stream. Andy_Mkutvan. You can turn off the auto-aim and enable Nuzlocke. If you play on X.
Well, I don't mind the auto-aim, or the way it, like, sort of... What I mean is, like, you don't aim up and down, it, like, aims up and down for you. So if someone's on a different level, you don't have to, like, sort of look up or down. It will sort of aim it for you.
Andy_Mkutvan. Yoa.
This game really, makes you value the corner peek. Oh, I just need to get up over that ledge. Please, let me get up over the ledge. That would be ever so nice, sir. Kind sir.
Andy_Mkutvan. I prefer to have modern aim system since I meet precise shoots.
Ah, that was too close. Where'd they go? Lots of dead bodies. Yeah, sorry, coming back to the Elder Scrolls screen suggestion, I just didn't, get what you meant at first by, what you meant by that. If you meant, like, specifically play just to read books, or, like, what, Oh, it's nice. I get the ammo, wah wah wee wah. Because when you said do a lore stream, I thought you meant yeah, like specifically play for lore or something. Virginia, California, on my mind. Do 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 do. Carolina.
Malaquenta. Play to read books. Sounds like it would make an interesting stream.
But then people... I'm worried with that, though, what do you call it? Sorry. I was just worried, people might...
Are you using Doom 65EX or AN64 emulster? You turn a little too slow.
I think it's... Let me check here, once I get past the... What did I download? I think I got Doom... I'm pretty sure it was EX. Yeah, EX. Hey, wait a second. Oh, not fast enough. You're too slow. Oh, not this way. Oh, hold on. Hold on 2 seconds here. Oh, no, 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 no. Terrible time to tab out. Okay. Oh, I see. So, what is it about you're saying I can turn faster? Oh, you... What? Oh god, I'm almost dead. Wait, I can't get back. This is not cool. Oh, I made it. Ah! Shoot. Oh, I see. Wait, so what triggers that? Oh, what? Oh. Oh. That
Now,
was
Quentin,
spooky.
you were saying about the test thing?
Oh, you want me to play the Elder Scrolls? Wait, what did I unlock here? Am I supposed to go down there? Oh, nice this one. Nice this one. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, what the heck happened there? Oh. I cannot see anything happen. It's hard to see down here. I got a med kit. Oh. Oh, damn. Let's see, which one was I at? This one, I think. Yeah, once I finish this level, I'll play some Elder Scrolls then. Ah. I was gonna say, you can make this a lot easier by just dying. Ah! Come on.
Valaquenta. Oh, what if you played Daggerfall?
Daggerfall's not a really good game. It's interesting, but it's more frustrating than it is fun to play. Like, the only thing it kind of has going for it is that it is one of the biggest open worlds ever, but that actually kind of works against it. So what you end up with is a game where it takes a lot of time to go anywhere, do anything, and when you do, because so much of it is randomly generated, that works against it sometimes, and oh no! How could this happen to me? Oh. I can't see. How do I get out of here? Must be something. No, even the gamma correction. Well, maybe, actually. Okay, yeah, because before I couldn't even see this thing here. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, I see. It's like these steps barely embedded. Hey, there we go. Okay, so now what? So I'm up here. I haven't gotten a new key card or anything. Come on. Oh, right, I gotta be running. Oh, stop. Actually. Aw, wasn't that... That should have been enough to get there. So what do I do? So that's activated, isn't it? I kill all the monsters down there. Then you have to go back this way. Oh, hey! There we go. Yeah, oh man. It's like this game kind of is frustrating because a lot of times that happens. Don't I have berserker powers? Oh, that didn't work at all. Gonna have to come back and rocket launcher that. Oh wait, maybe oh yeah, I think Berserk only works when your screen's red or something. Like a boss. Yeah! Okay, so that's the end of that level. Alpha Quadrant. So I'm just gonna save here. And yeah, let's see, someone wanted me to play Skyrim. Are you still here? I'll play Skyrim if you're still here. Let's see, that was Bella Quenta. So yeah, where's Skyrim? Or wait, did I uninstall it? No, I still have it, okay.
Valaquenta. I'm here.
Here. Okay. Oh, is this gonna let me Alt-Tab? There we go. Okay, so... Oh. Oh, I'm still... I got myself too used to playing Doom. I'm still trying to turn with the keyboard keys. Okay, so what was I... What was I doing when I last played? Guess I should go give Mr. Orkman his books.
Valacuenta. Oh no, the resolution is messed up.
Messed up in my stream? Oh yeah, let's see here. Oh, okay, so that's good, alright.
Valacuenta. T-pose.
Typos. Yeah, the only thing with Skyrim is I've probably played, probably close to 200 hours in it or something. So,
What are you looking? Looks like you're still in one piece.
it's kind of been there, done that for me, because it's such a story-based game, so once you've played through it once, you've done everything. It's not very sandboxy, there's not a lot to go back and do again, where it's like, oh, cool, this will be something new or different. It's like, you know how everything's going to happen every time, so...
Night of Tears, eh? I remember this one. Did you read it yourself? If I recall it correctly. And here. I suppose you've earned these.
Darn right I have.
Well, well. I haven't seen one of these beauties in a long time. A rare find in the original
Valacuenta.
language. You're
Valid.
damn right I'm interested. Question is, are you selling? Well, considering no one else in Skyrim would buy something they couldn't possibly read, I'd say you don't have much of a choice.
Maybe I'll just hold on to it to spite you then.
Like
You ever think of
this,
that?
And I'll pay 1,000 gold each. I'll even throw in a translated edition I have for free. Interested?
Deal. Give book.
Here you go.
Ooh, an unknown book. Never hurts to read unknown books. Which one was it? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, there. This one. It's a nice looking book. Fourth of Evening Star. I used to dream of fighting in battles like my father. He had begun teaching me to fight the moment I was able to pick up a blade. Mother had argued that I was too young, but he paid her no mind. I can still remember the elation the first time I bested father in a match, and the look of pride on his face. If it were up to him, I know he would have allowed me to join him in battle. With me at his side, he may have fared better.
Valacuenta.
Now,
Read the 2920 series PLS, it's amazing.
now with father and so many others slain, the old ones claim we are left with I don't care. I really, Bethesda, your lore is not as good as you think it is.
May your next fight bring you victory.
We all know. We all know. You just read a few J.R.R. Tolkien books, copied and pasted some stuff called Wyverns Dragons. Because I'm sorry, but as someone who understands that kind of lore, this is not a dragon. This is the heraldic symbol of Wales. This is a wyvern who have their wings as hands like this. They are more like a serpent beast. But again, because Bethesda wants to have its cake and eat it, they're like, oh, we can call them dragons. And it's like, we can't. That upsets me. I think at one point I even looked around for a mod to see if I could find something that would change it so they were called wyverns instead of dragons. Because I don't know, it's a point, like, some people probably don't mind. They're like, yeah, it's just a dragon, just call it a dragon, let it be. But for me, it's like, well, no, if people have taken time to describe these things in books and you're going to use a word, like, you should look up kind of what it means and try and, I don't know, respect it or something. It's like, you know, there's entire people that have, you know, tried to keep this thing alive, and the history that comes with it, and then it's just like, oh, well, that's cool, but, you know, that doesn't sound cool enough for our make-believe fantasy world, so, I don't know, I'm just nitpicking. I guess all I really have left to do I haven't done yet is, it's like I have lots of things I haven't finished, but I just haven't played the DLC. Honestly, I was kind of thinking of playing Oblivion, if anything, because I've been wanting to revisit Oblivion. But again, that has its own frustrations too, and it's like,
I welcome you, friend. How may I serve you? Take a look.
He looks like a tiger. I probably doesn't have anything I need. Moon sugar.
May your road lead you to warm sands. Warm wares and warm sands, friend. How may this one serve you? The roads of Skyrim need something. All right, but if you get arrested, do not. All right, but if you get arrested, do not blame it on me.
Don't tell me what to do. Boingy, 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 boingy.
If you're looking for passage to Solstheim, too bad. It's hard to explain. The next thing I remember, there's been something strange going on there. Have you been listening to me?
Yes, you are. You're taking me to Solstheim. So you can pay him. You owe me. Those cultists have brought you here to kill me.
My keyboard is so fucked.
People are trying to kill me. I'm not taking no for an answer. Like, why would I go for that one? There's two options here I can try.
Hold on now. I'm just a simple sailor. I never wanted to get mixed up in any of this. All right.
Okay.
But we leave immediately.
Good job having no spine whatever, buddy. Yeah, this game does not have, like, a dialogue system, like, at all, really. You just click through what people are going to say and pick the option you're supposed to. But it looks pretty. Hey, you're finally awake.
Well, here we are. This is Raven Rock. Can't say I'm all that glad to see it again. luck. Maybe you can figure out what's going on around here.
Search for information about Mirak.
I don't recognize you, so I'll assume this is your first visit. Mirak, I'm not sure. Just remember, any questions?
Okay, Mr. Obviously working with Mirak.
I'm unsure. I swear, I don't think so. I'm not. The name has something to do with the Earth stuff. I have to be. Second, this isn't it. After all we've been through together. Counselor
Like, why does it give you that option to ask what does your titles mean when it's just going to continue dialogue that's already, like, there for you?
I was starting to wonder what happened.
Excuse me, but... Mirak. It sounds very familiar. Not someone here, but... I'm not sure I can recall. I can't be sure. I know I've...
Valaquenta. For lore purposes.
You see that house? You can climb it. Okay, so I need to get to the shrine up here. Oh, that's the shrine? I thought there was something else here I was supposed to do. Ski rim.
Valaquenta. Skyrim isn't about choices low.l. Zurich put it best when he said it's an action game with RPG elements, not
Pretty
a
much.
role-playing game.
Yeah, it's like more like Kingdom Hearts 2.
I think so, but I'm not sure where
Welcome
I
to
heard the
Raven
name.
Rock, traveler.
Keep
Could I
yourself
interest
safe.
you in any fine
Solstice is still a dangerous place.
You there. You don't seem to be in quite the same... May I ask what it is? Mirak. Oh, wait, I recall. That Mirak's been dead for thousands. I'm not sure. Perhaps it... I'm afraid I can't give you it. If I were you, I'd look there.
That we might remember.
Here, you
That seems inadvisable. Oh. Ah, so you are able to resist the effect by exerting your will.
Far from ourselves.
Not advised touching the stone again. The effects of repeated contact could be... Unless, of course, you'd like to contribute to my
Our eyes
investigation.
once were blind.
Which could be very enlightening to observe.
Now through him do we see.
Oh, head.
Ghost Horsey, I summon you! Because horses in this game are magical. Horses in this game are like level geometry? Ha! That's just a suggestion for us hooved magical beings.
Everyone dead. Everyone but me. Must go back and get it.
You see that mountain, you can climb it.
I can't believe it.
Let's see if we can get around this tree. Yes, we can! Oh, friendship is magic. Oh, this magical horse. This magical, wonderful horse. Thank you, Todd. Thank you. I'm glad I bought your game. I don't think we're supposed to be up here, Mr. Horse. There's like a passage here. Whoa! Abandoned Lodge. It's a real great location to have in a DLC, an abandoned lodge. Empty building of nothing. It was worth it. Adds atmosphere. I mean, it actually does add atmosphere. I'm kind of just being goofy. What, you want to go? That's what I thought. Oh, it's like an actual pass. Okay. Oh, that's the, that's Morrowind over there, I think. Or no, that's a volcano? Am I gonna be able to go there? No. Oh, no! Oh, wait, I'm gonna live. Okay, I'm fine. I'm just ragdolling. Oh, snap! Werebear! Oh, I did die. I thought it was okay. So... Oh, am I all the way back here?
I don't recognize you.
Oh, well.
So,
Valaquenta. That's Red Mountain.
May I ask what? Oh, wait. Derek's been dead for a month. Perhaps. I'm afraid I can't. If I were you, I'd look there. I wonder if a dragon could be captured and die. Make a fascinating test.
Excuse me. Do.
Valaquenta. Sorry, I've GTG, 'twas fun but must sleep.
No problem. Thank you for watching. You have a good night.
I don't care what they're called. I was going to say, I know it isn't the best place to start, but we know that. Besides, I don't feel. We were searching the farm when the ass. No one. They started.
No, I don't care.
Worked a few weeks.
Get bored with this game so easily. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Oh, there we go. Da-da-da-da-da-do-do-do-do. Well, I guess I'm going to close it down for now, so... Thank you everyone for watching, hope it was fun, and yeah, we will do this again sometime. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.